All right, well, something I haven't done for a little while is go live in my car. Check it out. Even got a water view for you guys. I was going to stand out there, but it's, so say it's raining, I want to say it's windy. You know, my favorite thing, the fucking wind. It is water out there. You can't really even see it. Oh, you can. It just looks very platinum light. If I get out of the picture for a minute, it focuses on the beautiful colors. There we go. There's the beautiful water. The beautiful water through the little peephole window of the third eye chakra consciousness. So welcome to the third eye chakra consciousness today. It is our third eye chakra consciousness week has begun. And you would have already been feeling the third eye chakra consciousness of certain realizations and truths that you are facing, which might be very confronting in your face. Okay, so yeah, confronting realizations that you might be having in your face. This is the third eye chakra consciousness. Yes, I'm live. Hello, good morning. Welcome to our third eye chakra consciousness week. My name is Hannah, if you don't know me already, and we are on the chakra consciousness journey as we go through each of the chakras coming from the crown down. So I'm sitting in my car because I was supposed to, well, I wanted to go outside, but the wind's been windy early in the mornings here. So yes, hello. All right, so third eye chakra consciousness. This is probably one of the most common and I want to say mainstream aware chakras is the third eye. Yeah, it's the third eye, and it's known as clairvoyance or clear seeing. A lot more people are clairvoyant than they realize. So who here sees like 111, 222, 777, 888, 711, 345? I see 678. I see 999. Like, who sees numbers everywhere? Who looks at the clock and it's like 2:22 or 14:11 or 11:11? Or who sees numbers on the clock? You know, so many people come to me, and my clients come to me, and they're like, I don't see, oh, my clairvoyance, I don't see very much. And I'm like, so do you see like 111? Do you see like 222? Do you see like 333? And they're like, oh my God, all the time. And I'm like, you're highly clairvoyant. And they're like, what? Clairvoyance isn't just about seeing ghosts. It's actually seeing in the physical world too, because we have three eyes. We have two physical eyes and our spiritual eye, our third eye. 717, yes, all the numbers, yeah? Triple numbers, double numbers, all the friggin' time. Number plates, clocks, phones, devices, receipts, anything, right? Yeah, so you're highly clairvoyant, yeah? A lot of people see this, and every time you see a number, I want you to start saying to yourself, I'm highly clairvoyant. I'm seeing with my spiritual eyes. You know, in my yoga class, in my third eye chakra yoga class, we teach about like looking with your three eyes. And even when you're walking around or doing what you're doing, you can say, what can I see with my three eyes? Like, you train yourself to see the with your physical eyes, and then you train yourself to see what you're seeing with your spiritual eyes. Yeah. So it's like seeing with, you know, what can I see? And even if you're like, I can't see anything, like, I don't want you to ever say that ever again, right? I'm looking at like the trees and the fairies, right? I don't want you to ever say, I can't see. Why? Because you're telling yourself you can't see, right? You'll send yourself physically blind too, by the way, if you say that. Oh, well, I can't hear you. Like, if you say that enough, you're not going to be able to hear, right? So it's like, I'm seeing more and more with my three eyes. What else can I see? Like, show me what else I can see. It's like, you know, when we even really train ourselves physically to see, especially if we've been looking at a device or a computer for a long time, like stepping outside and seeing as far as you can see in the distance, like training yourself to see, I don't want to see what I'm seeing in the sky right now, but anyway, it's a whole nother story. Sunshine Coast is getting freaking hammered in the skies at the moment, but anyway, that's another subject for another day. I don't like seeing that. Oh, but I like seeing the sky. Where's my fuzzy clouds gone and I can't just enjoy seeing? Whatever. Don't get me started. So when we're seeing with our three eyes and we train ourselves to see, like, you know, it's like you're training yourself, you know, that's the thing. Or a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not very psychic. It's like going to yoga class for the first time and saying like, oh, I'm not flexible. And I'm like, who's flexible before they come to yoga? Like, come on, guys. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you are psychic. You're naturally psychic. You're naturally, you know, clairvoyant. You're intuitive. You pick up stuff. You know who's calling you before you answer the phone. You know who, you know, is like texting you before you see the message, or you're just thinking about them, and then, you know, like, oh, and then you get a message from them, or then they call, or then there's an email, or they've liked your Facebook photo, or whatever it is. Like, you have to remember that you're highly clairvoyant, you're highly intuitive all the freaking time. It's just a matter of like catching that and training yourself to say, oh, I'm highly intuitive. Oh, I'm highly clairvoyant. Oh, I see so much more. I see angels. I see the colors. I see the rainbows. I see the shimmering lights, which is the angels. I see, you know, specks of light. I mean, like, who like sees, you know, like a speck of light? You know how sometimes you just see like a speck of light and you're just like, it was just like a speck of light just here, like it just traveled through. It's almost like a shooting star, but it's not a shooting star, but it's right here. And, you know, or you just see it out of the corner of your eye, or you see a person walking past and you're like, oh, but they're not there. Like, who does that? Right? Who has that experience? Like, you have to remember you're highly clairvoyant, and every time you say I can't see, or I'm not very like intuitive, or I'm not very clairvoyant, I'm like, you just shut it down. So don't ever say those words again. You say, I am learning to be more clairvoyant. If you think that you can't, just say, I'm learning to be more, because that's truth, right? And then you start anchoring in that you do see more. Yeah, you see what's going to happen, yeah, but in their lives before it happens, right? That too, right? You just have a knowing, or you see what's going to play out, right? Everybody, a lot of people say that too, sorry. All right, a lot of people say that. Yeah, lots of angel numbers. Yeah, exactly, right? So number one, everybody is highly clairvoyant, okay? And so you can start to really grow that and amplify that by affirming that you're highly clairvoyant. Yeah, I'm highly clairvoyant. I see all the time. I see a lot. I see a lot of messages. I see more than what I'm aware of. I see more than what I'm aware of is a beautiful one, because I see more than what I'm aware of means your subconscious picks up so much more, and then you start to become even more highly intuitive, because I see so much more than I'm aware of, meaning your subconscious is like, what? Oh yeah. Like, you know what I mean? And so we're like training our subconscious to be even more psychic. And what happens with that is we become conscious of that, because the brain automatically goes, oh, what do you mean see more than what I'm aware of? Like, and so our brain is already starting to like train to see that. Does that make sense? Like, it's pretty deep. Okay. You could even play around with that. I am way more abundant than I realize. Yeah. Because the brain's like, what? And then you start searching for that. Yeah. Very, very powerful. Yeah, I see more than I'm aware of. I'm way more intuitive than I realize. Because your brain is like, what? Hang on. Oh yeah, you are. And it'll find, like, the brain, you ask a question and the brain tries to figure it out like immediately. You say a statement and the brain is already going to work. Yeah. Very, very powerful manifestation tool. Expound on that how you will. So your third eye chakra consciousness is about seeing more. Seeing with your three eyes. What do I see with my three eyes? When you're going for a walk, like, train yourself to look in the distance, like train, you know, it's very brain, it's like, you know, when we're at the crown chakra and we're doing the thoughts and manifesting, and we all know our thoughts create feelings, and the feelings create, you know, our thoughts create feelings, and our feelings create reality, right? And so when we can train ourselves to see more as well, it's exactly like brain training, but you're training your eyes. You know, anything is a muscle. If we go to the gym, we're training muscles. You know, we go to yoga, we're getting stronger in the etheric body. Like, you know, and when we're training our spiritual muscles, this is how we train. I'm seeing more than I realize. Like, sure, you can meditate and like focus on your third eye. And our third eye actually has 3 components to it. Maybe it's a bit more intricate than that, but this is the basis of it. So the third eye chakra, there's like, you know, the front of your third eye, there's a channel that goes through your head, and then there's the back of your third eye, right? So the visual center at the back of your head is like where you see, if you may, and there's the channel that goes through, and then there's the front. So in my crystalline chakra activation, which if you don't have the crystalline chakra activation set, you can grab them. It's $49 for the entire series. So there's 9 of them, because there's one for integration, right? And that's why when we do this chakra consciousness journey, there's 9 weeks that we go through. The last week is actually 9 days of integration, or we do a chakra a day. Yeah, so we do it over a bit longer than a week. Obviously there is more than 9 days in a week. There's more than 7 days in a week. You get what I'm trying to say, right? We do it for 9 days, not just a week of 7 days. We're doing a chakra a day. So with the crystalline and the crystalline chakra activations, right? So there's a meditation for each of them. So there's 9 of them. So you can do each of them for, like, you can do it daily. So like, for example, you do it, the third eye chakra consciousness today. You do the crystalline activation for the third eye today. You could do it tomorrow, the next day, the next day. So you're doing it sort of each week, or you can just go through and do it at the start of the week, and then, you know, you're just activating it for the week. They're different than just a normal chakra clearing activation. For example, like if you have my chakra clearing meditation in my free meditation pack, these are a lot different. Number 1, there's 1 for each chakra. Number 2, it's the crystalline energy that we're activating and like pouring through and recalibrating to, not just, not just clearing it, but we're activating it to that crystalline frequency. Yeah. So the third eye at the front, the visual channel, and then the center at the back. So in the activation as well, we're like repairing the organ too. Yeah. And it's the same with all of them. We actually go through the healing and repair, and then the activation as well, because it's important to make sure, you know, like for example, a lot of people can't see with their clairvoyance because there's a lot of past life trauma. So with the third eye chakra consciousness, if there is one word to describe the third eye, it's relationships. However, it's also about seeing the truth in reality, seeing the truth in the past, present, future, or past, present, future, whichever direction you want to work that, right? And seeing the truth in reality. There's people walking past. Oh, maybe it's just the kids. It's the kids down there. I didn't want them to like take the door. I just realized I'm like right on the path. So anyway, so when we look at the past, present, future, it's really like coming into seeing the truth of what happened in the past. So sometimes we can get caught up on a story in our head, which creates a certain feeling about an experience that we've had. And whilst your feeling is valid about that experience that happened, right? It's also just one start of the story, one side of the story, one perspective, like the third eye, right? One perspective of the situation that you're seeing, right? Have you ever heard that thing where, you know, like there's a scenario that happens, there's an event that happens, and you ask every single person that was there, and they'll tell you a slightly different story. Why? Because there's their perspective of the situation. And this is why there is not one truth on the planet, because everybody's truth is valid from their own perception of reality. And it's the same with like getting a psychic reading or going and getting an intuitive healing or a Reiki session or whatever. Like your experience of that healing is only going to be, I want to say, to the level that that teacher can facilitate to their perspective of reality, their consciousness, their wisdom, their experience, like all of those pieces, right? And whilst like there's nothing wrong with like anyone's healing modality or way that they do it or anything like that, because there's no right or wrong. Like, everyone's truth is valid, but you will get certain aspects of, you know, that person's perspective filtering into your reading or anything like that. Like, that's just the way that it is. Like, there's no one clear pure channel on the planet, because we're all fucking human. We've all got a lens to some degree of reality, and that's why it's so important to trust your intuition and your truth that resonates with whatever healer or psychic or course that you choose, because there's going to be aspects that that teacher has lived through, and the wisdom that they are sharing and portraying through their teachings and through their classes and through all the wisdom that they're giving you through that is going to heal you, because you resonate with them and they've gone through something that they can help you with, if that makes sense, right? If you look at yoga, for example, like, how many yoga classes and how many yoga teachers are on the planet, right? And when you look at the original basis of yoga, like, someone could be taught from the same teacher and teach two very different classes, but they're doing the same thing. Why? Because their wisdom, their skills, their body, their energy, their mind, their is gonna be different. Like, nobody is the same. And this is why it's like, you know, I always used to say to people, like, if you don't like my style of yoga and this is your first time to a yoga class ever, do not get put off by this class. Go and find a teacher that you resonate with, because yoga will heal you, but it's finding the right channel to come through. So when we look at the third eye chakra consciousness, it's understanding that there's many truths, right? And then there's truth that will resonate with you, because it's helping to heal a certain aspect of what you're going through and growing through in your life right now, right? That's why it's very common to outgrow friends, family, friendship circles, you know, even teachers and mentors. You will outgrow them at some point, because of that aspect that I just said, that, you know, everybody's teaching through a certain filter and lens in their life, and depending on that person's not only like experience that they've gone through, but also how they've learned and that they're portraying the wisdom through of their teachings, right? So the third eye chakra consciousness allows you to see the truth in the past situation, see the truth in what's really going on in the right now, and then also see the truth in the future. Now, it's so important to understand that nothing is set in stone. And this is what I always harp on about. And I'm always so like, I don't know if pedantic's the right word, but when we really look at, you know, like I was, when I first came online, I was always ranting about it. Shut the door now. I was always ranting about it with, you know, like having, you know, like I get so angry when people would tell people's future, because I'm like, and did you tell them the other like 50 infinite, like limitless scenarios that could play out if they choose a different thought and if they take a different road to work or something like that? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, nothing is set in stone. Nothing is set in stone. And it's so important to remember that reality is created. This is a very deep but basic aspect. Reality is created by three things: what happened to you in the past, how you feel about it in the present, and what you choose to do in the future. That's pretty huge. Let me say it again. Reality is created by three things: what happened in the past, what you choose to feel and what you feel about it now, and then what you do about it in the future. Pretty simple, hey? Hey, I got the like 3 steps to the keys of life. Do you want to hear them? What happened in the past, how you feel about it now, and what you choose to do in the future. That's pretty fucking cool. I like that. It's the freaking truth, right? The thing about the truth, and now I'm going to get hot because I didn't think that I was going to sit here with the door closed. The thing about the truth, right, is that, and this is why it's so important to understand your intuition and understand the aspects of reality that play out with your intuition, because, and how all of your organs and chakras, what's the word? Work in synergy and symbiotic like nature with each other. Because okay, how you feel about the past, what happened in the past, how you feel about it now, and what you choose to do about it in the future, those aspects, right, you will feel truth with something that you're seeing in the now, or that you realize about your past, and you choose to feel the truth of what's playing out for your future. Now, this is so intricate and deep, because you will see the truth, but it will be backed up by a feeling. That's your clairsentience, that's your heart. So our intuition works with us seeing or receiving intuition, and then that being backed up by a feeling. So you might like know something. You might be like, you know somebody, like you get a text message, right? And before you even pick up the phone, you just know it's Joe Blogs, right? And then you just sort of ignore it because, you know, or you start thinking about them, and you're like, and then you get a real feeling of like, oh yeah, when you caught up with them last time, that's how it felt. Like, and you're just sort of in it, and you don't even sort of realize, because you might be doing dishes or something, and you're just sort of in it. And then the phone rings, and you're like, oh, that's them. Oh, you know, and if you're onto it and training yourself with your intuition, you'll be like, oh, my claircognizance was receiving that. Like I just knew, was thinking about them, right? And then you had a feeling about it of like how that made you feel. And then like you might be thinking, you might be like seeing a future outcome. You're like, oh yeah, I don't want to catch up with that person again. And the phone calls, and you're like, I'm not answering that call today. Right? So your intuition technically just spoke to you 3 times with 3 different organs with what I just shared then. Yeah. And so that's why understanding the intricacies of your intuition are really important. Okay. And this is what I teach in Trust Intuition, my course. So the past and the present and the future, right, is like the 3 keys to reality. I'm naming it now because it's the truth. You'll feel the truth resonance, right? And you'll feel when somebody, like, you know, when something is off, like you'll see it, you know, and by the way, okay, this is awesome as well. So for example, someone said on my live stream yesterday, and they're like, oh, you look tired. And I'm like, I don't think that I look tired. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm like, but I feel super stressed. Now, if I was to sort of pick that apart a little bit, I'm like, oh, she might have been seeing like the truth, because I'm like, I don't think that I look tired. Like, I think I look pretty like good. Like, do you know what I mean? But it's kind of like, she might have been seeing with her third eye what's really going on in the truth of the picture in front. Does that make sense? So this is where people are like, oh, I'm not clairvoyant. And I'm like, can you see what I just said? Like, can you see what I'm talking about? Someone who's highly clairvoyant will talk in language like this too. They will say, can't you see what I'm talking about? Like, you know, I need to see the picture so I can understand what you're talking about. Like, this is the language that also a clairvoyant person will talk about. That lawnmower man's got the sky. Anyway, so, you know, like, that's the language, yeah? It's like, can't you see what I'm talking about? Yeah? So it's like, for example, that lady yesterday, I think it was Sarah who said it on my live stream. She's like, you look tired. And I'm like, I don't think I look tired. I think I can hide it, like, in a way. Do you know what I mean? I was like, well, I'm technically really stressed. I was really stressed yesterday at home. It's been stressful with the puppy. Let's put it that way. We love the puppy, but it's like, it's full on. It's full on, yeah? So, you know, like, that's an aspect of the clairvoyance. And it's a bit like when we get to the ear chakra consciousness, which is next week, and you hear behind the words of somebody, yeah? So you're hearing beyond what that person's saying. And, yeah, so Mel says, I always say, can you see what I mean? Exactly, right? That's your clairvoyance, your highly clairvoyant person, yeah? Brenda says, I can read the empty space between people. Exactly. This is what we're talking about, yeah? And so when you understand that these are aspects of your intuition, that's when you like amplify them. That's when the switch turns on, because you're like, oh, and it's, you know, and you can also pick that up like with your kids or just other people talking in general. And, you know, and then with clairvoyant people that like, they look sort of up, like when they look straight through you. So like when they're like receiving a clairvoyant message, it's like they're just looking straight through you, or they're sort of looking up, like, or to the side a little bit, you know, they're like, oh, what is that? And they're sort of like because they're seeing it, like, do you know what I mean? But they're not looking physically up there, but that's, you know. So that's also another aspect of your clairvoyance as well in the third eye chakra consciousness. Yeah. This is so helpful. First time I asked the universe for answers, then here it is. Love that. Thank you for being here. And to the side, yeah, to the side. So if you're clairsentient, you're looking down like a lot. You sort of look down, you know, a lot at the ground. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so past, present, and future. Yeah, and the third eye chakra consciousness. And like I said, if there was one word to describe the third eye chakra consciousness, it's relationships. And when we look at what we're talking about now, you know, like when we look at what we're talking about, this is what we start to see about the dynamics. So when I just said before, like the third eye chakra consciousness, all about relationships, but the truth in the relationship. And then if we look at what we've just been talking about, yeah, when we are looking at the picture and we start to see the dynamics. So when we've got the past, the present, and the future, right, in front of us, and we understand that our reality is created by 3 keys, what happened at that past event, how we feel about it now, and what's playing out now, and what we choose to do about it in the future. When we understand that, okay, we see the dynamics playing out. So we've got 1, 2, 3, but we start to see the threads, the line between the present and the future, and the line between the past and the now, right? We start to see that. And so when so you understand that, right? There's 1, 2, 3 parts, and then we start to see how this incident played out, and there's like a thread or a cord or, you know, a tube, if you may, that goes from the past event and it's connected to now, and it's still playing out in the now. And then we see that that event is like still tied to the past, right? Through that line of all the feelings and all the issues and whatever happened. And we can see how that goes into the future because it's like another connection and it's creating that. Do you see that? Okay. Do you see what I'm talking about? You can see the picture. Yeah. If you're highly clairvoyant, you'll get it. We might just know it, or we might feel it. Okay. And we'll talk about it in a minute. If you don't see stuff, but you might be highly clairsentient, and a lot of people can't see it, but they can feel it. And it's so important to understand that and the difference, because you're also understanding it, but you're not seeing it, but you feel it. So you still see it. Okay. So when we look at 1, 2, 3, and then all the threads, I like to call them like cotton threads that connect past, present, future. Okay. And when we look at those pieces, yeah, there's those threads are the dynamics. Okay. These are the dynamics of the relationships. Okay. So people often wonder how I'm so clairvoyant, intuitive, like, you know, if I do a reading or something and I just nail it, because these dynamics, these threads are so clear to me. They're so clear. Like, it's like I pick apart a spider web that's been tangled and knotted and stuff. Like, it's so clear to me, all these threads, okay, from the past to the future, etc., etc., what's playing out in the now. To see like a spider web that's just been like thrown over a person and like tangled up, I can see all the intricacies of that. And what that is, and this is why I always talk about the web, if you may, what that is all the energy, all the feelings, buried subconscious emotions, thought patterns, past life interconnections, blah, 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 you know, like that have gone from that event in whatever timeline it is to the current event, and how that's going to play out in the future if you don't do something about this bit, right? And so when you understand, you know, like, and train yourself, right, and learn, you start to see this, and this is where your clairvoyance starts to kick in. And this is the thing where, you know, at the start I said, you know, your clairvoyance is so much more than just seeing ghosts. Okay, like when I see that with somebody, or somebody comes to me, or I'm talking to somebody on the phone for a psychic reading or something, it's not like I see the ghost of the person standing in front of me and I see a spider web, but I know it's there. I get a feeling about the feelings, and therefore I see it. So I might hear a sound, my feelings understand the feeling of the situation, therefore I see it, and it sort of like all comes together. Yeah? The more you practice strengthening your spiritual organs, there's 4 main ones, and then there's others that spin off that. When you work on building that, and this is the basis of what we do in Trust Intuition, it's one of the key foundations, right? Because if you don't understand this, well, you'll never hear your intuition, so to speak, right? Understand the intricacies of it. And just like I said about the past and the present and the future, and there's like all these cotton threads or webs going from that event to this person and all the bits on the timeline, and there's so many of them, okay? When you understand that, you understand that your intuition speaks to you the same way. So your third eye has a relationship with your crown chakra. Your third eye has a relationship with your ear chakras. Your third eye has a relationship with your throat chakra. Your third eye has a relationship with your heart chakra. Your third eye has a relationship with your solar plexus, and so on and so on. In the Crystalline Chakra Activation series, make sure you go in there. Obviously, you're going to go, you know, when you purchase it, it's $49 for the 9 of them. There's a bonus that I've put in there, and it's a PDF, and it tells you the negative and positive aspects of the relationship between your third eye and your crown, your third eye and the ears, your third eye and the throat, your third eye and the heart, third eye and solar plexus. That $49 is worth that PDF in itself, right? And then you've got, you know, the ear chakra relationship with the crown, the ear chakra relationship with the third eye, the ear chakra relationship with the throat. And I've gone through the whole thing. So it's a pretty big PDF. And basically you can start to learn the intricacies of your chakras and your spiritual organs. And then when you amplify this within yourself, you see it in other people. And so your clairvoyance amplifies and your intuition becomes more clear, and you understand the dynamics, and you're like, hey, you're so intuitive. Does anyone have any questions about what I've just said? We've gone pretty deep. You may need to replay this on slow-mo or something. Just listen to it over and over again and it'll sink in, yeah? So, third eye chakra consciousness feels like, yeah, and that's what Alina just said. It feels like you're talking to yourself, but you start to understand that it's your intuition communicating with you. Yes, 100%. And that's where people are like, brush it off, because it's like, oh, and sometimes it can feel light and heavy. You know, like if it's heavy, usually the ego will kick in and blah, 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 pull you down. But sometimes people get a feeling of intuition being light and they brush it off because it's like, oh, it's so light. So Ruth says, sometimes people make me nauseous. Do you know what that can be? Yeah, you've just taken on their toxic energy. You've taken on their emotions. You've taken on their feelings. So I'd work on strengthening your own intuition and also strengthening and fine-tuning your clairsentience, because highly clairsentient people who feel everything, they're the ones who usually take on people's stuff if they don't understand that they're feeling somebody else and then they carry it. Usually the nauseous feeling is that actually it's a very toxic environment. Sometimes it can just be that you're not conscious that you've taken on their energy and you feel sick around them because you've just taken it on energetically, but it would be about strengthening your own energy and understanding of intuition so you don't take that on, if you may. It's strange as you feel. Yeah, and so that's the toxicity, because it's like you take it on and you don't realize, but you do, but it's, yeah. So you just need to understand your clairsentient gift is really, and that's what we do in Trust Intuition. All right, so I'm just checking if any other messages want to come through about the third eye chakra. I'm just going through the third eye chakra consciousness book to see if there's anything particularly that, and working with the chakra activation. So the crystalline chakra activations will also help strengthen like your chakras, therefore your etheric energy, your spiritual energy, understand your energy, like, you know, and the core thing is learning more about it and implementing it. So practicing on friends, family, etc., clients, and then also meditating. Yeah, meditating. A lot of people are like, I can't meditate. I'm like, we'll do an Ashtanga strong yoga class, or go and do an hour at the gym and then go and meditate, because yes, we need to move that energy and then we can sit. Remember, meditating is not about trying to stop thought. Okay, we're humans, we're not supposed to stop thought. It's about creating space in between the thought, becoming the observer of the thought. When we become the observer of our busy mind, we start to also be the observer of our intuition, and we catch our intuition more. We understand our intuition more. We know our intuition more. Yeah. So when we are really looking at amplifying through that energy, right, and becoming conscious of that, meditation is an awesome tool. Like, meditate, and it's not just like, oh, once or twice. It's like regularly. Like, if you want to be intuitive, you want to make still mind meditation, and like I said, do like yoga or something first, you know, and get into a routine of it. Like, it's the routine and the habit that allows you to strengthen the muscles, not just once or twice. Okay. Important. Dreams and dream interpretation. So dream interpretation becomes easier when you understand your intuition. And then there's certain dreams that you understand that are, certain dreams that are visitations from deceased loved ones, or whether it's like a different realm, or I want to say astral travel, but it's more like, sometimes dreams are visits from deceased loved ones, or visits from, I don't know how to say it, visits from other realms, let's just put it in other dimensions, okay, whether it's good or bad beings. And then there's also dreams where your subconscious is processing stuff that you are not processing during your daytime. Yeah. And yes, we can turn it down. So awesome question. We can turn our spiritual organs down. I would never recommend turning them off though, because turning them off will create disease in the body. So you can definitely turn them down. You can just imagine like a radio dial or what have you. Do we have them these days? They're all digital. An old analog dial. Volume control, maybe. But I don't know, it's all digital, right? It can be. So if you imagine it like a dial, and you can just turn them down. But like I said, I wouldn't recommend turning them off. Yeah. Also, meditating, regular meditation helps you to receive the messages your intuition is trying to wake you up to during your normal day-to-day stuff. So for example, who mentioned like, I feel nauseous like from strangers. So meditating will strengthen your own energy and start to, it not just strengthens it, but within that strengthening, it's like you start to become more aware of who your energy is and somebody else's energy. So instead of like, the nauseous feeling is walking past someone in the street, for example, and their energy getting stuck in your aura and filtering down to your body, and your body is like, this is not my energy, get it out of me. Like, that's what it's trying to do, right? Like, that's what nauseous is. Like, if you swallow poison, your body instantly like gets it out, right? You vomit, right? That's what's going on. So when you've taken on somebody's energy, it's hit your aura, right? Your aura is this big bubble out here. There's all this space around it. Okay, meditating makes that bigger and stronger, and meditating makes you healthier, because disease is a lack of, like, your aura is too close to your body and thin. And so meditating makes it strong and thick, and so you don't get sick. Okay, this is like your this is your immune system. Okay, so when you're walking past somebody, that energy from their aura and their bad feelings from their yesterday's argument in their relationship or whatever's going on, you just caught that in your aura, brushed past you, and then you haven't noticed that, you haven't recognized that enough to catch it, because you're not sensitive enough and trained enough in your own intuitive muscles and energy centers, right, to catch it out here and go, get off me, and I need to clear my energy and do a chakra clearing, and I need to stand under the tree, or however you clear your energy. There's lots of ways you can clear your energy. You know, so when you're like brushing that off, right, if you don't do that, it hits your physical body and you're like, I feel sick. Right? That's all that's happened. So meditating will strengthen your energy, but you'll also become more conscious when somebody's energy hits your aura and you're like, get it off, it's not mine. And you become conscious that what's your energy and what's not your energy. You want to stay healthy and not get sick, that's what you want to do. Yeah. And there was something else I was just going to say about that. I don't remember. Maybe I covered it. Stephanie says, gosh, I need all this. New job actually makes me dizzy and so nauseous. I eat very little. Yeah. So you want to be strengthening your energy. Yeah, you need to be strengthening your energy, strengthening your aura. And that comes through regular meditation. Like I said, it's not just once or twice I meditate, and not necessarily a guided meditation. Sure, there's my chakra clearing. There's all these meditations you can do, right? Guided meditations are awesome for healing aspects of your psyche and your consciousness, and understanding your intuition and understanding the different like chatters in your head and your busy mind, etc. If you want to really amplify your intuitive abilities, you want to commit to a still mind meditation. And you have to remember that the first 10 minutes of a still mind meditation, you'll be like wanting to check your phone, or itchy, or hang on, I'm cold, hang on, let me just I need to move outside. You know, like distraction central. Okay, especially the first time you do it, expect to be agitated for the entire 20 minutes. Okay, like it's a thing. Okay, because you know, when you're training a dog, or like, it was on my mind, right? So when you're training a puppy to do something, you got to tell them over and over and over again. It's constant. Then after a while, they start to understand what you're talking about. So after a while, your brain starts to go, oh, this is what we're doing. I hate this. Okay, but now I can't move. Right. And after a while, you get it. Like, do you know what I mean? So, you know, still mind meditation is very, very powerful. Okay. And 20 minutes is a recommended thing. There's like a Buddha Zen saying, I think that's where it comes from. If you do not have time to meditate for 20 minutes every day, you need to meditate for 1 hour. I'll say it again. If you do not have time to meditate for 20 minutes a day, you need to meditate for 1 hour. Did you hear me? It's true. And then you'll be like, oh yeah, I can do 20 minutes because everybody's got 20 minutes, because it's 20 minutes less of Netflix or whatever it is, right? There's always time. The best way I find to do it is a couple of things. There are still mind meditations you can listen to, or just like bells, or, you know, on YouTube, you can do that as well. Like just still like ocean waves, sitting in nature, focusing on a candle flame. Like if you've got something that you can focus on, or focus on your breathing, your inhale, exhale, your inhale. Like, you know what I mean? Like, give your brain something to focus on. Your breath in, your breath out, your breath in, your breath out. Like, focus on something, or a candle flame, or like I said, right? Something. Okay? But the consistency is what makes you stronger in all aspects. Okay? Okay. So, let me see here. Yes, my inner child meditation is on my website. It's $15, the inner child meditation. It should be more. There's training videos in there. If you want to heal anything in your life, work with the inner child meditation. Yeah. So if you go to my website, realityawareness.com, and if you scroll down, there's the audio meditations section. And if you go in there, all the meditations there, my free ones, my paid ones, they're all listed on my website there. How do you see meditation while sleeping versus awake? Okay, if you want to strengthen your intuition, if you want to be more conscious of your intuition, if you want to grow your energy and strengthen your energy, you want to sit up. You don't want to go to sleep. Okay, you want to be conscious. You want to, because what we've just been talking about is training your brain to become the observer and seeing the space, creating space in between, because that's going to enable you to see the differentiation between the past situation, the present situation, and the future outcome. And it's going to enable you to see the space in between this present moment and what happened in the past. So you know how we've been talking about these dynamics and all the threads? If you do not meditate consciously, you're just going to be this one great mess, and the past, present, and future are all going to be here like this. Yeah. And when you you know, like when you meditate consciously, this 20 minutes a day I'm talking about, sorry, there was one other thing. Set a timer. I forgot to say that. Set a timer for 20 minutes on your phone. Okay. And even if you are listening to a still mind meditation, set it for 20 minutes. So on the iPhone, I don't know about the other ones, but on the iPhone, you can set a timer and it'll say, you know, like, set off this alarm or whatever, like all the different sounds. And if you scroll down the bottom, it says stop playing. I don't know if it works for YouTube music, but it does work for the iPhone iMusic. So if you listen to a still mind meditation, like I just set it for, like, you know, the timer to stop playing at 20 minutes. So I don't have to think, oh, check my phone, you know, another distraction, like, oh, is the timer going to go off yet? Like, I don't have to do anything because the timer is going to stop the music when 20 minutes are up. after time, you do this daily, okay, and find what works for you. Some people are like, oh, you need to meditate in the morning. And it's like, sometimes it's crazy with the kids and everything in the morning. You don't have space in the morning. But when they go to school, you got space. So you make that your daily ritual, right? Or before bed. But make sure you sit up, okay? If you want to be conscious of your intuition and understand the space in between and the dynamics between and all the threads and how that situation affected your current feelings now, etc., meditation, conscious, sitting up, still my meditation. Like I said, for the first month, you're going to be like, Hannah, this is not working. After a month of doing it every day for 30 days, you will notice a difference. But I'm saying, like, expect it to take time, okay? It's not going to happen overnight, because your brain's going to be like, especially if this is new to you, okay? Like, it takes dedication, discipline, and time. You're not going to become an Olympic swimmer by jumping in a pool and thinking that you can do doggy paddle, like, because that's all you know how to do. Like, it's dedication, skill, and practice, okay? But how bad do you want to understand your intuition? How bad do you want to, you know, like, know the difference here, okay? So conscious meditation, sitting up, you know, even if you are in bed, like, but sit up against the wall, like, to have the lights on, you know, like, or dimmed or whatever, so you don't go to sleep, okay? Do it in the middle of the day, you know, like, so you don't go to sleep, like, whatever. Meditation while sleeping obviously is still beneficial, but if you want to enhance your conscious awareness during the day, then, you know, and conscious awareness of all the parts that we've been speaking about on this live stream, then do conscious daily meditation, not just at nighttime while you're sleeping. Nighttime while you're sleeping is obviously going to help your brain waves. It's going to help you drop into the deeper sleep states as well. Sometimes excess meditation while sleeping is too much and doesn't allow you to rest. It can send you into deeper, like, you know, of the deeper brainwave states, but sometimes we need a break from that too, so that we can properly rest without our brain thinking of anything. Do you know what I mean? So if you have been doing sleep meditation for a long period of time, it's important to also have breaks of that, okay? Only if it feels right? So Teresa says, I have to walk away from a co-worker. She's such a drama queen. I can't stand being around her at times. Yep, that's a good way to protect your energy, yeah? Predictive dreams. Yeah, so predictive dreams are definitely a thing as well. And again, interpreting what a predictive dream is compared to like a, you know, a subconscious processing dream, a visit from a deceased loved one, or a visit from another realm, or travel to other realms and dimensions. Again, that comes from like a dedicated meditation practice, understanding, you know, intuition deeply and learning about this stuff. Again, I teach a lot of this in Trust Intuition. And again, when you understand the dynamics, like, really the third eye chakra consciousness is probably, and that's why with the chakra consciousness, right, the crystalline, like, we're doing the chakra journey, okay? I've told you guys it's a week that we're in each chakra. I'm creating an entire course that's like, you know, on each chakra, because they're so intricate, okay? In the third eye chakra course, there must be a good 60 videos or something, 60 or 70 training videos in the third eye chakra consciousness alone. I think it was last year or the year before, I included it in Trust Intuition training as a bonus, because the skill and understanding intuition, and as I said, it's the dynamics between what happened in the past, what's going on in the present, and what happened in the future, what will affect in the future, is understanding these threads and the intricacies of what this experience has created, and created that thread that's still playing out in you now, affecting now, blah blah blah, right? So the third eye chakra consciousness has been included as a bonus into Trust Intuition. I don't even think that's on the sales page, actually. I probably should add it in, because understanding the dynamics of relationships and the past, present, and future, and how that plays out is how we understand everything. I want to say is how you're so intuitive, is how you understand intuition, is how you interpret messages, and how you analyze all the information that your three eyes, your third eye, your physical eyes, your subconscious eyes, like, are receiving, like, all the time. Like, you've probably heard the thing where we receive so much more information and then we process. Do you know what I mean? Like, how much we block out and how much is actually available. And when you consider into other realms and dimensions into that, it's like, might be overwhelming, right? So what about predictive dreams? So understanding the different dream states, again, is like a byproduct, if you may, of understanding the foundational dynamics of relationships, etc. Yeah, does that make sense? That's why you're a mess. Yes, why a lot of us are a mess, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so lying down, yeah, and seeing, so yeah, you can lie down as long as you're not tired and you know you won't go to sleep, you know, so lie down on the kitchen floor or something, I don't know, like, you know, if you feel like you are going to go to sleep, you know, just make it work for you, yeah? Yeah. Yeah, and finding the breath techniques, that's awesome to know that you have different breathing techniques, allows you to see different things. It's awesome, yeah? Yeah, and this is where it's like training and trusting yourself and, you know, going deeper into learning these different intricacies because they're so deep. They're so, so deep, yeah? Chakras is a never ending of learning, so much to learn about them. I'm studying them with Reiki. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? And that's why I'm like, you know, we do the chakra consciousness journey, but there's a whole entire course on each of them. And I probably, you know, I'm only touching on like, you know, in 60 or 70 videos for the third eye just alone. You know, I'm probably only touching it as well. So the other thing that I'm just going to finish off with the third eye is, so two things actually. The third eye chakra is related to our physical eyes. It's related to our liver, and obviously then the liver meridians as well. The liver and gallbladder, I should say too. And something else, what is that? It should be in here. The pituitary gland, of course, yeah? So the physical eyes, the pituitary gland, and the liver and gallbladder are what the eyes are connected to, yeah? And then deja vu. So deja vu is also something very connected to clairvoyance as well. And then also in those deja vu moments, it's like, okay, what else am I seeing here? You know, it's so important when we get a message or intuition of some sort to also remind yourself to ask, and what else do I see here? Show me more. Show me more of what's going on here. What else am I seeing, right? So training yourself. What else can I see? What am I seeing with my three eyes? And I think I don't think I finished it. So on the you know, when you're at a device or desk or something all day and it's very close to you, no matter what it is, go outside, look as far as you can on the horizon, not just with your three eyes, but like train your physical eyes, like it's exercise for your eyes, right? And obviously your spiritual eyes as well. What else can I see? What other dimensions can I see? What is in front of me that I'm seeing? Yeah. How much more can I see? I'm so much more aware than I realize. Yeah. I see so much more than I realize. So deja vu is like seeing through the gaps of reality, seeing through into other dimensions, tasting and feeling into other dimensions. Some people say deja vu is you've lived this before. It can be timelines matching up, and it can be like deja vu is like portals where the universes are actually sort of like, you know, clashing, if you may, like bumping into each other, merging, and then like passing through even. And so even in all those moments, it's like, and what else can I see? What else can I see? Yeah. So yes. Yeah, it's annoying, right? When organs get removed, like gallbladder, like you said, and it got removed and you wish that you didn't because now you know it can be healed. So what's important to understand is that when an organ is removed, the energy of it is still there. Okay, so they might physically take out the organ, but the energy of your gallbladder is still there. So you can still work on it energetically, yeah? Yeah, it literally heals me. I never missed a class for chakra. Yeah, Selena, it's powerful, right? It's so powerful going through the chakra layers. So, so powerful. Deja vu, I'm hearing the calling. There we go. I love it. All right, so remember that we are in third eye chakra week this week. Keep your eyes peeled for what you are showing, and the crystalline chakra activations. You can check the link in the title of this live stream. You can find it on my website as well, and you can work through the chakra activations. So even though, you know, we've technically started, you can still purchase it. And what's really important to understand is that whatever chakra you join on, or you purchase the meditations on, is the chakra that you need to come in on. So some people come to me and they're like, oh, I can't do the chakra meditation from the base chakra up. And that's because the crown chakra is easier for them to come in, and actually coming through the crown unlocks it. Some people like base and crown don't work for me. And sometimes they need to come in through the heart, unlock the heart, and then it unlocks both up and down through the chakras. So whichever chakra you purchase the activations on, whichever chakra you join in on our journey on, if you're just joining in, is the chakra that needs to, I want to say, be worked on first, or is like your entry point and then like unlocks both up and down through your body of the chakras. Yes, there's no wrong or right. This is what I was saying, you know, there's no like one truth. You know, I teach stuff and it's like a foundation for you to then trust your intuition of what your intuition is showing you about other chakras or other gifts or other things in your life, and to trust your intuition over what I say and the basis of where your truth resonates in and what you're seeing in your reality, right? So that is the third eye chakra consciousness. Keep your eyes peeled this week and know that we're in it. And I'll see what comes through for me to post about it during the week as well. And otherwise, I will see you for ear chakra consciousness next week. Be mindful, we're already stepping into the ear chakra consciousness as well. And I shall see you then.